This week we had an amazing group of international scholars and activists working with think tanks who are doing progressive work and trying to change the narrative about war and militarization. And we invited them here to Hawaii because Hawaii is the hub of the US military power in the Pacific, and it continues to be the place where wars are thought up, wars are practiced, and then they're exported to other countries. So we felt it was a fitting place to talk about both the threats of war in this region, but also the opportunities to make a change, a dramatic change.
So if you can imagine in 1893, US Marines getting off the boat, marching up the street, and aiming their Gatling guns at the palace, that becomes the muscle that enables a small group of white businessmen to seize power in the Hawaii Kingdom.
This is an example, I think, of overly focusing on one military action, but it doesn't really capture either side of the military expansion that had been going on for a much longer period of time.
I mean, I think every museum, it tells us more about the present than about the past. You can see the exhibits, they kind of fetishize militarism. They really show a very American imperialist view of the war in the Pacific. And they try to kind of recruit different racial groups into this great American mission of militarism. But Hawaiian voices are really kept out of that narrative. So when you compare this museum to the Okinawa Peace Memorial Museum, which really focuses on the civilian impact of warfare, this is more of a sales pitch for further American militarism throughout the Pacific.
I was overwhelmed by this praise for militarization. But at the same time, then I realized that maybe that's how majority of people in the US kind of perceive the military.
The military takes land, grabs land everywhere. And they evict the people that are here. They bought out the rancher, that's McCandless. Our community, Waianae, deep ties with the military for generations now, since World War II, right? Because they recruit heavy in our community because we're an underprivileged community.
This is Pu'onua Waianae, village of about 200 people. They've been here for about 20 years. We feel the thing with the military being here. They have a housing allowance. Our people don't have a housing allowance. So how are we supposed to compete with that?
We kind of look at the work that we do in two political realms, ku'e and kukulu. So ku'e is to resist, to actively resist and oppose. And that's a big thing here in Hawaii, And kukulu is to build and create, to construct. We start to realize that our energy that we put out in our lifetime, we wanted it to be long-lasting. We wanted it to grow roots and blossom. Who is important? The bulldozers coming to bulldoze a sacred site. We got to get out there and blockade and stop it. But day to day, we're focusing on building, and creating opportunities and venues and structures that uplift and empower our community.
Together, our mission is to grow good food. All of it is organic. We're certified organic, as well as we're food safety certified, and to grow young leaders like Emma and Nala.
One thing I love about Ma'o is because when I first joined, I was someone who's like, oh, I hate getting my hands dirty. I hate the sun.
Look at these calluses.
And I'm like many kids from home, like our age, that we don't know about our own cultures, our home, our islands. We don't know about it all. But being here at Ma'o, I was able to learn about not only my culture, but also the Hawaiian culture, which I love. It just made my values and beliefs stronger.
A lot of farming doesn't get talked about, and we rely on fast food and, going to the stores and doing this and that, but we don't know that we can grow our own food in our backyards. And I think that's the big picture of, getting our community involved and taking care of what we call home. They're taking up a lot of the space, which is kind of irritating, but the more irritating we get, the more food we will grow. Yeah. Because we're trying to tell them that, this is our land, you're taking our resources, and we need it back. In 10 years, I want our land back. I don't want no military. They can go somewhere else. Our island is our island.
This is a beautiful place, and the people here are beautiful, and they're doing good work. And what's in my mind is, for the last more than 40 years, all I do is study war. And every now and then I find these little injections of hope. And this is a massive, it's like a bolus of hope. Because what people are doing here is they're imagining what it would be like to have a better world, to live in community, to know each other, and to make something better at the same time that they're resisting. So it's the combination of resistance and rebuilding that's so hopeful.
You almost feel the breath of the divine in these spaces now because they've reclaimed it. And so when Hawaiians say that there's connection to the land, or you get your orders from the land, I mean, it's a real deep, interconnected relationship. And so to see these spaces reclaimed and given life back, and you can almost see the possibilities for the future, it's really amazing, largely because it's divinely inspired, I feel, by the ancestors and their support in terms of the activism to make and to create what is and what's possible.